When I got dressed this morning, it was pretty warm in Manhattan. I really wish I'd known it was going to be so cold up in Hamden and New Haven. And so I think it would be really helpful if I had a little thing here that told me what the temperature was in New Haven at any time. Now, admittedly, I could go to NOAA and figure out what the weather is just by going to, let's see if I can find it. Here's the current weather as RSS feeds and XML feeds. Here it is at Tweed, which is identified, the weather station there is identified, as KHVN. So I can check out the XML feed of that, and it gives me the temperature right here. But I really want to extract that and put it on www time. Now, of course, one way I could do it is actually use the RSS feed and use the RSS widget, and that would probably be the smart way. But I'm going to do the dumb way because it lets us play a little bit more with PHP. Now, I'm also going to do it backwards and show you I've already done it by going to this URL and showing you what it outputs. So it outputs, it is now 56 degrees. Okay, that's great. So how do I do that? Well, the way I'm doing that is first I'm going to look at the source here real quick. And you'll see that we've got a bunch of things here that are in XML. We haven't dealt with XML before, but it's very similar to HTML. You'll see that we have open tags and closed tags. In this case, though, they're just made-up tags. So here we have an open temp F for Fahrenheit and a closed temp F, and what we want to do is get that 56 somehow. So basically, to lay out what we need to do as a function, we need it to go to this URL, look at the source, pull out, look until you get to this tag, temp F, pull out everything before the decimal point. We'll just take the whole temperature, and then print it out. So that should be something we can do. So let's take a look at the function that does that. Here's the function. So a quick reminder, functions are a way of adding kind of functionality. There's built-in functions already in PHP, but you can add your own functions. If we look down at the HTML here, it's really bad HTML. It just has HTML and a body tag, so it's not really correct, but it's good enough for what we're doing. We have a paragraph tag that says it is now, and then calls this function with an argument. Remember, an argument is kind of an option, and so the argument is KHVN, which means that we want the weather from this weather station. So basically we have a function here that didn't exist before, current temp, and so we have to create it, and we create it using the function keyword. So we say function and then the name of the function, and then we're going to say there is this option, location, that we want to bring in. And so this becomes this kind of comes in as location. The first step is we create a new variable, URL to get, and in that variable we want it to be a string that has this bit, followed by, in this case, KHVN, followed by .xml. So all we're doing here is we're creating the appropriate URL for the location we want. If we wanted to, we could choose one of these other stations like Hartford, Brennard, and you'll see that we would use KHFD there, but the rest of this URL stays the same. All right. So we say that's the URL we want to get. Then we create another new variable, XML text, and we say file get contents from this URL. So file get contents is a function that's built into PHP, and it goes out to a file, and this can be a local file on your computer, or it can be a website, a page out on the web. In this case, it's a page out on the web, and it says go and get everything in that file, which is all that XML we just saw. This is the trickiest part, and one you really don't need to know really in detail about any of the stuff that I'm doing, but in particular this one is complicated. This is using something called regular expressions and matching a pattern, which is called a regular expression. And what this pattern says, and again, this is something that you'd have to learn yet another language, I'm afraid, but it's not a terribly difficult one, and it is very powerful. It's a matching language. So you usually hit Control F to find something on a page, and then type in something. And you might be accustomed to using a wildcard like the star to fill in things. So if you wanted to, get a little more complicated, well, regular expressions are like that, but on crack. And so it's like you can add in all kinds of different matching expressions. In this case, what I'm telling it to do is look for this beginning of the temp F tag, and then just take the numbers after that. So that's basically what that matching thing is. And it says, look for this pattern in the text that you downloaded from that URL, and then put the matches in a new variable called matches. It actually it ends up being an array, and matches 0 is this whole ugly thing, but matches 1 is just the part within the parentheses that is just the temperature. So now we put the temperature in nowtemp, and then we add on, this is an HTML entity, so we've done this for copyright, for example, or trademark, or for fancy quotation marks. Deg is obviously for the little degree circle that makes it a degrees, and then we print that out. So just to recap, we take the location that the person gives us, we create a URL out of that location that we know works for the National Weather Service. We then go out to the web and we pull in that document, which is either an HTML or in this case an XML. Then we try to find where the temperature is in that document, and we print out that match. So very straightforward, and that yields what we've just seen, which is well, I can't find it now, but which is a site that creates that. So now we've got the function that does this. Can we do that also in www.time? Of course we can. So let's go to the dashboard. Oops. Well, let's log in, and we'll go to Themes Editor. And this is where we're going to go to that scary one that we haven't really dealt as much with, which is theme functions. There are other ways we could do this, but we're going to put it in the theme functions. This particular theme comes with a whole bunch of functions, but we're going to add one in, and that's going to be the one I just copied and pasted. Oh, we don't need the PHP bits of it, because we're already in PHP for this whole document. But it's function current temp. All right. So now we have this new function that we've added to our WordPress install, and we can use that anywhere. If I wanted to, I could put it in the footer if I wanted. So let's see what we said. Adapted by theme link, meta separator. This is a little separator between things. Let's put in another one here. And this is just a little separator between the things on the bottom. And then we're going to say a little we don't want it as a paragraph. That'll work. We'll do it as a span, which is a non-paragraph. And we'll say it is now, and then we'll put in our starting PHP, and we'll put in the name of the function, which is, oh drat, I don't remember, current temp KVHN right there. And then we close it out, and we'll put a period and end the span, and we can save this. And if we view the site now, and we go down to our footer, you'll see that I've added in a little bit that says that it's now 56 degrees in Hamden. So very easy to fairly easy once you have a function that's working to kind of make it part of this entire page. You can do it as a widget. Note that although you could put HTML into widgets easily, you can't put PHP into widgets, although there is a plugin I think it's called, I don't know, widgets, PHP and widgets or something like that, that will allow you to put PHP in widgets, but by default you can't put it directly in, but you can put it in any of your template files. And so just a quick overview to remind us back from the end of the last module. Now if you have some basic PHP, you can go ahead and create your own functions within a WordPress or a Drupal or whatever PHP based CMS. All right, and that ends our brief foray into PHP.